Okay, so let's start with this image the book paints right at the beginning. Picture a valley floor just after a battle. The mist clears, and it's just devastation.
Utter desolation, yeah.
Bodies everywhere. The description is chilling, like nails spilled from a sack, just broken on the dirt. And the smell, the air, thick with blood, conflict. And you just hear the crows. It completely strips away any, romantic idea about war.
Absolutely. It forces you right from page 1 to confront the sheer brutality of it, the human cost.
Yeah, what does it really mean to see that, to confront that kind of ambition and its consequences?
It's an opening that, well, it doesn't let you look away, does it? Abercrombie just throws us right into the raw, messy reality of violence. No heroes on white horses here.
Not at all. It's showing the suffering, the ugly truth, far from any kind of idealized glory. It's a statement, really.
It really sets the tone for the whole world we're stepping into.
And that's kind of our mission today, isn't it? We're diving into this really powerful book. It doesn't flinch from war, from politics, the cutthroat side of it.
Or the inner lives of the characters, which are incredibly complex, often just messy.
Exactly. People caught in these huge, desperate situations. It's a story that I think really challenges how you might see things. Makes you think about resilience, about morality, and how blurry those lines can get.
It's fantastic character work set against this epic, brutal backdrop. It gets to the core of being human when you're pushed right to the edge. Lots of insights there.
And as we dig into these compelling narratives, remember, exploring complex stuff like this really sharpens your thinking. For more AI-driven book analyses that, inspire that deeper reflection, check out Mindful Moments on our YouTube channel.
Good point.
Okay, so let's plunge into that bleak landscape, the conflict itself. So the book throws us right in, doesn't it? Through Dogman's eyes, him and Dell, looking over this valley, just full of corpses. Union dead everywhere.
Yeah, loads of corpses is the phrase, I think, just scattered.
And Dogman's reaction, it's not just like, oh, look at that. It's visceral. He feels it. The book says it brings back sour memories.
It hammers home the psychological toll, doesn't it? The scars that war leaves long after the fighting stops. It's not just a scene. It's like a wound reopening for him.
And the author makes it so personal. It's not a statistic for Dogman. It's this echo of past trauma. It tells you straight away, this isn't glorious. It grinds people down.
And then you see the contrast, right, between that horror on the front line and the political games happening miles away.
Oh, totally. You've got Prince Ladisla, utterly spoiled, coddled. His enthusiasm is just dangerous ignorance born out of never facing consequences.
He's completely detached.
And Lord Marshal Burr carrying this immense weight. He's just crushed by incompetent subordinates, like Meade, wasting lives. Abercrombie shows how that kind of leadership, divorced from reality, isn't just bad, it's catastrophic.
It's a moral failure, really. Ladisla is this perfect, chilling example of how privilege can create a leader who's completely blind to the suffering his decisions cause.
It highlights that leadership isn't about titles, is it? It's about competence, connection to reality.
Exactly, and decision-making that understands the cost.
And it gets even more absurd, doesn't it?
Yeah.
The petty fights between General Croy and General Polder.
Oh, the Smiths. Yeah.
Their egos mean the army literally doesn't have enough Smiths right before a battle because neither one will budge. The whole force is crippled by a turf war.
It just makes you wonder, how often do grand strategies just fall apart because of human failings? Simple pride, ego.
Right. What does that say about leadership in a crisis? That huge gap between the plans on the map and the muddy, bloody reality.
It's a stark reminder, isn't it? Some of the biggest losses happen in the command tent, not on the battlefield.
But, okay, amidst all that bleakness, that incompetence, you also see incredible endurance, resilience, maybe even growth.
Yeah, the characters carry so much pain, but they keep going. It's not just survival, it's sometimes transformation.
Think about Logan Ninefingers, the famous Northman. He lives, most of his life in some amount of pain, old wounds constantly aching.
It's not just the big injuries, it's that constant reminder, isn't it? The past living in his body.
And then there's Glokta, superior Glokta. His physical state is just awful.
Debilitating, yeah. The useless leg, the constant back pain. Every single movement is an effort.
Yet he has this, unwavering, cynical determination. Sheer force of will pushing him through that agony. Grim resolve is a good way to put it.
He embodies it.
And Giselle, he starts as this pampered, totally vain nobleman, so self-absorbed.
Thinks he's God's gift, basically.
Right. But then the battle among the stones, His injury is brutal, jaw broken, teeth gone, mouth ripped open. It forces him to face reality in a horrifying way.
He's helpless. It's like his whole worldview gets shattered along with his face. A naming wound, as Logan might say. A turning point.
But then you see these flashes of surprising competence, unexpected humanity.
Mm-hmm.
Pharaoh, for instance. She's presented as this deadly, almost feral character.
Lethal with her bow, yeah. Hits targets through the breastplate. Precise.
But then she's the one who stitches up Gisele's horrific jaw wound. And the book notes it's damn good stitching. Even Logan is impressed. Yeah, real good, he says. It's completely unexpected. Her self-reliance goes beyond just fighting. She has these practical skills.
Eclipse your expectations.
Yeah.
And Logan himself, he hates leadership. Says he has no ambition in him anymore. Found fame hollow.
He really wants no part of it.
But he steps up for his little group, reluctantly takes command. Why? Because there was no one else. He just does what needs doing, despite hating it.
That reluctant competence, yeah. And it leads to real shifts in people. Giselle, humbled by the pain and the scars, he actually starts thinking about a real future with Artie. Marriage, settling down. It's a huge change.
From total superficiality to something genuine, potentially. And Colonel West, too. He starts off so frustrated, always a subordinate chafing under idiots like Ladisla.
Always complaining, yeah.
But
seems competent underneath.
And he grows. He becomes more decisive. We see him grappling with command, making impossible calls, even leading a charge himself. Blood on his face, he steps into the role. It really drives home this idea. Resilience isn't about not feeling pain or avoiding hardship. It's about functioning despite it,
right.
Adapting.
Yeah, Abercrombie strips away the heroism. Resilience is shown as this relentless, often ugly grind of just enduring.
But even in this grim world, people find strength, show surprising skills, and even grow when they're pushed to the absolute limit.
It makes you ask yourself, doesn't it? What internal resources do you draw on when things get unexpectedly hard, when life hits you with those naming wounds?
Deep question.
Okay, so moving from personal endurance to the bigger picture, the book really forces us into these uncomfortable gray areas. Morality, power. It challenges simple good versus evil thinking.
Definitely. Take Locta's mission in Dagaska. He's hunting a traitor.
Right, but then he talks to Magister Eider, and she admits she betrays the city. But why? Not malice. It's cold calculation.
She thinks surrendering will prevent a massacre, minimize the losses for everyone. It's cynical, but pragmatic.
Her line, greed is everywhere. It makes you question motives, doesn't it? What looks like villainy might just be a different, uglier kind of logic.
And Glocta himself sees it. He has that moment of clarity. My victory is a loss for everyone. Even when he succeeds by his own harsh standards, it just means more suffering for the people there.
It lays bare that idea, no clean hands in this world, just different shades of gray, different kinds of necessity. Even success feels like failure.
Absolutely. And then you have Baez, the hearse of the Magi. His view on morality is just chillingly practical.
That line about evil, a word for children, a word the ignorant use for those who disagree with them, he just dismisses it.
Yeah, he sees it as a label, a tool, not some objective force. And he's on this relentless quest for power, for ancient artifacts, leading them to the seed.
This thing he believes will give him ultimate power, essentially.
But the irony, after all that, this huge quest, this driving ambition, the seed turns out to be
just a stone. Nothing special. And Baez just loses it, screaming, tricked, raging about having to fight Kalul without it.
It's this raw frustration. Even the most powerful character, undone by reality not matching his expectations, shows the limits, even of ancient magic and immense willpower.
And this complexity, it runs right down to trust itself.
Yeah.
Pharaoh. Her whole life has taught her trust was a word for fools.
Her experiences back that up from her perspective. Fight, run, betray, whatever it takes to survive.
But Lagan offers this counterpoint, doesn't he? He says, time comes, you got to stick at something, don't you?
Yeah.
That's the thing about trust. Sooner or later, you just got to do it without good reasons.
It's such a powerful moment. It highlights that contradiction, right?
Yeah.
In this brutal world, survival often means forming these fragile alliances. Trusting someone is a huge risk.
It's a leap of faith. Could save you, could get you killed.
Yeah.
That razor's edge of connection.
And this whole section, it really challenges us, you listening, to move beyond easy judgments. Black and white thinking just doesn't cut it here.
Yeah. What does necessary even mean when all your options are terrible? Can cynicism, can pragmatism actually be crucial for survival sometimes?
And how do those ideas maybe reflect the messy compromises in our own world, where good and evil are rarely as simple as stories often pretend?
So, wrapping things up.
Yeah.
What's the big takeaway from this intense journey through this book? For me, it's that courage isn't just about the big heroic moments.
No, not at all.
Often, it's about enduring the unbearable, making those impossible choices where there's no right answer, finding small moments of connection or competence when everything else is just chaos and pain.
I agree. This book shows that you can find really deep insights into leadership, human nature, the dark and the light, and the real cost of ambition, even in stories that don't shy away from the grit and the grime.
The lessons aren't sugar-coated, but they stick with you. They offer this glimpse into how people survive, how they change, or how they break.
It's powerful stuff.
And if these complex ideas, these gray areas, resonate with you, if you want to keep honing your critical thinking and exploring narratives that challenge you, definitely check out Mindful Moments on our YouTube channel. We dive into more thought-provoking books over there.
Yeah, good recommendation. And for more in-depth discussions like this one, looking closely at these kinds of stories, please subscribe to our podcasts. We really do appreciate you engaging with us on this stuff.
Absolutely. Please subscribe here to our podcast. Share this conversation with someone else who loves to unpack challenging stories, who isn't afraid of the messy side of humanity, and maybe consider picking up the book. There's a link in the description. It supports the creators, and it supports us too.
And maybe leave you with one final thought to chew on. Reflecting on everything we've talked about, think about this. In what ways do our own scars, the ones people see, and the ones they don't shape our own resilience, our ability to feel compassion, and maybe, ultimately, our understanding of what it really means to lead, to make choices, in a world that almost never gives us easy answers?